Hi there guys, welcome back to my channel. So here we go, me starting my day as usual with my bullet coffee. And then about an hour later, I started with my first glass of water for the day. I try to drink about, I don't know, 5 or 6 glasses of water every day. So I didn't get up till fairly late today. I worked night shift last night. So around 4 o'clock, I decided that I would just start making dinner for myself and the family. I decided I was going to make a broccoli and chicken casserole. So the first thing I needed to do was to start taking some of the meat off the bone of the rotisserie chicken that I had bought from Costco 2 days before. I don't know if you can see him in the background there, but my dog is patiently waiting for a piece to fall on the floor or for me to acknowledge him and give him some chicken. And yes, he did get a piece of chicken later. So I just got a whole bunch of meat off the bone, and then I cut up my broccoli into bite-sized pieces. And after I got all my broccoli cut up, I combined the chicken and the broccoli together. So here is the finished product. This is about how much I have of both the chicken and the broccoli to use. I decided I was going to put some onion in the sauce that I was going to make. So I had a half an onion that needed to be used up. So I just chopped it. I didn't quite use all of it, and I chopped it into fine pieces. Diced it up pretty good. So then once I was done chopping up the onion, I took that and put it into the bowl that I was going to use to create my cheesy sauce that I was going to put on top of the casserole. So in goes the onion. And so guys, I'm just making this one up as I go. For the casserole, I used a couple different kinds of cream cheese because I had them in my fridge and both needed to be used up. The first one was like a chive flavored whipped cream cheese, and then this one is just a regular cream cheese. I added about probably just under a tablespoon of minced garlic. I added some whipped cream so that it would soften up the mixture, make it a little more runny. Some shredded mozzarella cheese, and then I seasoned it up with some salt and pepper, and I also added some Parmesan cheese. I've made similar mixtures to this before. If I had sour cream, I would have been adding sour cream to this. I didn't have any left. I thought I did, but I didn't have any. So this will do though. So I added my seasoning, and then I just need to spend some time combining this all together and making it into kind of a thick sauce. It was a little bit too thick, so I decided I might need to just add a tiny bit more of the whipped cream. So then I got my casserole dish. I got some coconut oil spray that I sprayed on my dish, and I poured my chicken and broccoli into the dish. At this point, I realized that I had about half of a jar of tomato sauce left in my fridge from a previous recipe I'd made that really needed to be used up, and I figured that would probably go really well in here. So I just added, it wasn't even quite half a jar, I just added the remainder of that to the broccoli and chicken and stirred that together pretty well. Once that was all combined in my casserole dish, I got the cheesy sauce mixture that I had already made and poured that on top and spread it out. So once this step was done, I realized I was out of any other kind of shredded cheese. I did have mozzarella cheese left, but I wanted more of a cheddar cheese as well. So I just decided I would shred a little bit up. And then I sprinkled that over the top of my casserole. I then added a little bit more Parmesan cheese on top and a bit of salt and pepper. And here's the finished product. So I had the oven set to 375. I just covered the dish with some tin foil and threw that in the oven. While I was waiting for my dinner, I decided I was going to have one of my electrolyte drinks. So here's me just adding a scoop to my water cup. Stir it with some water and add some ice. And I really like this flavored electrolyte. It's a raspberry electrolyte, and I don't like a lot of juices, but I find this really tasty. I also took my potassium, magnesium, and calcium. Then I decided it would be really great to add some bacon on top to the casserole. So I decided just to fry a little bit of bacon up, and then I just cut that up into pieces. It might have been easier to buy pre-made bacon bits. I didn't have any on hand, so I just did this quickly while the casserole was in the oven. The casserole baked for about 30 minutes, maybe a little longer. I think I left it in a little too long. The broccoli was maybe a tad overcooked. But once it came out of the oven, I just sprinkled the bacon bits on top, and voila. So for dinner, I had quite a big bowl of the casserole. I thought it was pretty good, maybe not my best creation, but it was tasty. And tasty enough for me to go back for seconds. So then I went and had a nap because I was tired and I had to work this evening. So on my way to work, I stopped at 7-Eleven. I was out of my ice drinks that I like to have while I'm at work. So I ran in there and grabbed an ice drink. Oh my goodness, you guys, it was over double the price that I normally pay for one of these when I shop and get it at the grocery store. So I won't be doing that again. I also grabbed some whipped cream to bring with me to work to add to my coffee and to have on hand at work so I don't have to use the half and half. I got the biggest coffee I could find. Later at work, about an hour or two later, I had one of the chia puddings that you saw me make yesterday for meal prep. Okay, and then about an hour later, I decided to have my last food for the night, and that was an entire avocado with salt and pepper. Shortly after this, I also had that ice drink that I showed you that I got at 7-Eleven. So here's a snapshot of my day. I'm mostly looking at the carb count. Although it shows 47 carbs here, this does not reflect the fiber. So I had 29 grams of fiber today, which leaves me with a net carb count of 18 carbs, which is perfect. Calories are at about 1450. My fat level is really great. Protein's a little low, so I'll just have to make a conscious effort tomorrow to add some extra protein into my diet. So don't mind the snapshot from my phone here, guys, but this is just a better example. It shows you the carbs at 47, fiber at 29, which is bang on for my goal. And then the next one is the pie chart, and this does not reflect once you subtract the fiber. So we want the carbs to be at 5%. It's showing 13%, but I think once you would subtract the fiber, you'd be pretty close to that. Thank you so much for joining me on day 4 of my January challenge, and I will see you tomorrow in my next video.